April 13, 2023. Good day all. This is a message from Sierra Victor. We continue with our current program based on a book named Spy Secrets That Can Save Your Life by Jason Hansen as a baseline. The information, techniques, and skills is applicable and adapted to the high crime environment in South Africa. Chapter 3. Gathering Intelligence. Now that you know which tools you'll need to get through nearly any situation, we're going to share some essential survival knowledge with you. In addition to preparing yourself for disasters by having food and water and other essentials, there are a few things you should do in advance to keep your family safe. The CIA uses the term HUMINT, short for human intelligence, to refer to any information that can be gathered from human sources. In other words, this is boots on the ground intelligence gathering. HUMINT. Abroad or when traveling. Do some basic HUMINT when traveling to a foreign country or even on holiday locally in South Africa. Before you leave home, spend some time online studying the destination and making sure it's safe enough for you to even visit in the first place. You should talk to people and ask where to find local hospitals, the South African embassy, transportation, and escape routes. Should the country you are traveling in be hit with a major disaster, where could you go for medical help? How would you find your family members? When you're traveling, make a point to note what's typical and what's not. What's the baseline? What are locals wearing? How can you blend in? It's crucial when traveling abroad to not stick out like a sore thumb. You don't want to become a target, and then a victim. In addition to blending like a local, it's a good idea to take note of the following when traveling abroad, or anywhere, really. Pay close attention and be sure to follow any travel warnings issued regarding the country you are traveling to. Make sure you have the contact information for the nearest South African embassy or consulate. Note possible exit strategies should you have to flee during a natural disaster or civil unrest. HUMINT. At home. It's also crucial you take the time to do some reconnaissance in the community where you live. If you've lived in the same place for a long period of time, it becomes very easy to stop paying attention to changes that are happening in your own area. You may remember a time when you're driving with your spouse, and you ask, "Hey, when did that store show up?" You may be surprised when the response is last year. Whether you've lived in the same place your entire life or you've just moved to a new town, it's essential you gather some intelligence about the place you live. Make sure you know where to find all of the following. In the event of a major disaster, you may need immediate access to some or all of these places. Exits and chokeholds. If you had to escape on foot or by car, which route would you take? Chokeholds are places where congestion or blockage is likely to occur. If you know where such places exist, you'll be able to avoid them in an emergency. Hospitals. How far are you from the closest hospital? If that hospital were inaccessible, where would you go? Pharmacy. It's important to know where you could purchase medications you might need if you or a family member is injured or becomes sick. Water sources. One of the first things to learn about a new community is where to find emergency water sources like dams, rivers, reservoirs, boreholes, swimming pools, etc. Should there be an emergency, you could take one of the water filters you have, grab a bucket, and gather drinking water for your family. The police department. Always know the exact location of your closest police department. This is where you would need to drive if someone was following you in a vehicle or you're faced with any sort of emergency. Supermarkets, tuck shops, and other sources of food and essentials. Hardware stores to get material and tools for emergency repairs during disasters. It is also good to get to know a local plumber, electrician, etc. Fuel stations and depots. In South Africa nearly every, if not all, towns have a local WhatsApp group. In most bigger cities there is neighborhood and even street WhatsApp groups. When new in an area, speak to the locals to get on these groups as soon as possible. Also get to know the local CPF and/or security companies in the area and if possible join them for up-to-date information and quick responses. Take note of local crime trends and local hotspots previously unknown or newly developed. Become an active member in your community and join community patrols, etc. In the end, it is where you and your family stay. It is your responsibility to share time and effort as an investment into your community for an equal payback. Too many people sit at home passively and expect others to supply them with information and protection. Steps you must take immediately if a crisis occurs. In the event there is a major disaster, whether it's a natural disaster, a riot, or any type of catastrophic occurrence, you must do whatever it takes to get out of the dangerous situation. Remember, movement saves lives, so get off the X. Moving and taking action significantly increases your chances of survival. It's those who don't move who are going to be killed. Get back to your home and bunker up. Ensure your family is safe before contacting other members in your community and start implementing an action plan. Quickly arm yourself. Ideally, you'll have had a chance to arm yourself with your gun. Get your gear if you can safely do so. Obviously, having access to your 72-hour kit is preferable. If you are able to get it, do so. If it's putting you in greater danger to get it, you will have to leave it behind. Thank you for listening or reading this message. We will continue in our next message on Spy Secrets, with Chapter 4. Become an escape artist. Please feel free to use and distribute as needed. Our messages are not by any means enticing you to a revolution of sorts, but rather to equip you with the necessary theoretical background in order to assist local armed forces or police in stabilizing a SHTF situation. Please contact any admin on any Sierra Victor group for our previous material or search for our channel on YouTube. We wish you well. Sierra Victor.